Welcome to part 2 of Learning Target 18, Day 3. We are looking at everyone's favorite thing, word problems. And we want to know, how do you write an equation from a word problem? The first thing we do is we determine the rate of change, m, and then interpret it. Then we find a point and label the units. Write the equation. Solve to get the solution to the question. So put your m and your b into y equals mx plus b. So Marty is spending money at a rate of $3 per day. After 14 days, he has $68 left. How much money will he have left after 20 days? Well, there are some pieces that we need to know. Rate of $3 per day, but he's spending. So our rate is going to be negative $3. And that's also m. m equals negative 3. After 14 days, so if we have, after 14 days, he has $68 left. So our point is going to be 14.68. How much money will he have left after 20 days? So what we want to do first, so determine the rate of change, we did that. Determine the point and label the units. So we have after 14 days, he has $68. And then we want to write our equation. Y equals mx plus b. So in order for us to write it as y equals mx plus b, we need to use our point slope form because we have our slope and we have our point. So we are going to use y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So we know that this is x1 and this is y1. So now we can go ahead and plug everything in. Let's scroll down a little bit. We have y minus 68 equals, our slope is negative 3, times x minus 14. Now we're going to bond this through, boom, boom. So we'll get y minus 68 equals negative 3x plus 42. And we want to write it as y equals mx plus b. So we want to solve for y. So then what we do is we add 68. Y equals negative 3x plus 110. So we wrote our equation as y equals mx plus b, and we want to solve to get to the solution. So we want to know how much money will he have after 20 days. So we know that our x value are days, so what we do is we plug in 20 into the equation. So we have y equals negative 3 times 20 plus 110. So y equals negative 60 plus 110. So y would equal 50. And what that means is $50. So the question was, how much money will he have left after 20 days? So I'm going to write it over here so I have more room. He will have $50 after 20 days. Now let's look at what we've got here. So we want to determine the points and label the units, calculate the slope, write the equation, and solve. So in this set below, we have 2 points. And our slope is not given, or rate. Then we do these steps. So first we find out what our points are, then we calculate the slope, then we can write the equation and solve to get the solution. So the math department sponsors a math family fun night each year. The first year there were 35 families, and the third year there were 37. Predict the number of families that will attend in the 5th year. So we'll have our chart over here, and this is going to be the year and then the number of families. So we want to plot our points. So year 1, there were 35 families. Year 3, there were 57 families. So we identified our 2 points, and now we want to find the change in y and the change in x. So from 35 to 57, we are adding 22. And from 1 to 3, we are adding 2. So our slope, or m, is going to be the change in y over the change in x. So it'll be 22 over 2, which is just 11. So now that we know that our slope is 11, we can go ahead and plug it into our point slope form. So we have y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. So we can use either point that we want to. I'm going to use the 1 and 3 because it's much easier, or the 1 and 35 because it's a little bit smaller. So now we have y minus 35 would be the y1 equals, our slope is 11, times x minus 1. Now we want to write it in as y equals mx plus b. So what we do is bond this through. So we have y minus 35 equals 11x minus 11. And we add 35 to both sides. So what we get is y equals 11x plus 24. So using the equation we have, we want to answer the question. So the question was, predict the number of families that will attend the 5th year. So we want to know what y will be when we have x equals 5. So what we do is when we plug in 5 whenever we see x. So we have y equals 11. There's our x, so we plug in 5 plus 24. Y equals 55 plus 24. So y equals 79. And let's write it out in words what that means. So I'm going to write it over here where we have a little bit more room. And that means, so y equals 79. That means in the 5th year, $79 families will attend. And that's our answer. So now I want you to try the 2 U-try problems at the bottom. So I want you to graph using the x and y intercepts, and here is a word problem for you. Don't forget your summary. Good luck.